Today we're tying a Clouser Minnow, and when most people think of a Clouser, they think of smallmouth bass fishing. And while it is a very effective fly for smallmouth bass, it has been used to catch just about every species of fish that's found all around the world in rivers, lakes, and streams. So to tie this fly, I'm going to start with a size 6 Mustad 3366 hook here. And this is a sprout hook. And I'm just going to attach some white thread right in between, equidistant between the hook point and the eye of the hook, which is where I want the position of the lead eyes to be. I'm just going to put down a little bit of a thread base there, and this will give the eyes something to really hold on to so that they don't slide around the hook shank. Next, we're going to take these hairline lead painted eyes and red. I love the red color for this pattern, and we're tying this in white and olive, but you can still use the red on just about any color. Red is a trigger color for most fish. So when deciding where to place the eyes on the hook, I like to place them halfway in between the point and the eye of the hook. Sometimes people will use the dumbbell itself to measure the distance, and that just helps you be more consistent with your placement from fly to fly. And I'm just going to take a couple wraps around the dumbbells from this side, and I'm going to turn the dumbbells so that they are perpendicular, and then take a couple more wraps around the other side. So we're basically doing a figure 8 here, and just getting a good solid thread foundation over these eyes. And once I have that and my eyes are level on the hook as well as perpendicular to the shank, next I'm going to take some thread wraps around the base of those dumbbells, and that will just really pull those threads tight. And there we go. And as you can see, that's not really going anywhere, but we're also going to add some super glue here in just a minute. Now the body consists of basically 2 different colors of bucktail, and these can be any color. You can make these white and chartreuse, olive and white, black, solid black, any color you can think of will work. The most important thing when purchasing bucktail of these dyed colors is to make sure that you're getting a really high quality bucktail. Otherwise the dyes will bleed, and that can just ruin all the flies in your fly box. So from this white one, I'm going to go near the tip of the tail, and I'm just going to cut off about 1/3 of a pencil thickness. And I'm just going to kind of measure my length of my tail, and I'm going to make this about just a little over 2 hook lengths, so maybe like 2.5, so right about in there. And as you can see, it's pretty sparse overall for the body. And once I have that lined up, I'm going to trim this. And then I'm going to tilt it so that I tie in actually at an angle. And now just make sure that my bucktail goes down to a point rather than a bulky, boxy looking head. Okay, then I'm going to go back to behind the dumbbell eyes, and I'm going to make a thread body over top of that bucktail. Next, I'm going to use some crystal flash for the lateral lines, and I'm just going to pull about 4 fibers or so from this hank. And I ended up with about 6 of them, and that's okay. So I'm going to tie these at about the halfway point. On the underside. And I'll pull the other ends back and secure those. Okay. Next, I'm going to rotate the fly so that it is upside down. This fly, after all, rides with the point up in the water, which is one of the reasons it's so effective when fishing around structure. And off of my olive bucktail, I'm going to select about an equal amount, but I'm going to go lower on the tail where the hairs are just a little bit longer. And if you end up with a few hairs that are longer, you can always, pull some of those out. And I want this to be slightly longer than our white bucktail. Once I have it measured, we can use our scissors. And again, I'm going to one loose wrap to sort of capture all those fibers. And then just make some tightening wraps forward. There we go. And I'll put just 2 half hitches on there, or 3. And to finish this fly, I'm going to use some Zap-A-Gap. And we're just going to coat all those threads. And I'm even going to try to, push that little brush in between the dumbbells and the hook. And that'll just really, hold all that in place. And our final step is to trim this crystal flash, and I'm gonna make it about even with the end of the deer hair. Now once it's dry a little bit, we can take it out of our vise, and at this point, we can rearrange some of this deer hair and just kind of put our hook point through the middle of it. And there you go. There is the Clouser Minnow.